Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at two different cases where police officers abuse their authority by using excessive force against innocent people, and soon face the consequences of their unlawful behavior. The first incident occurred on June 17, 2015, when a woman named Miranda Wendell was on her way to work. While driving in traffic, another car attempting to change lanes grazed her right back quarter panel. Judging by the very minor incident, Miss Wendell decided not to stop. She didn't mind it and continued driving. Soon after arriving at the office, she was surprised to see an officer with the Stewart Police Department approach her and start questioning her about the crash. The whole encounter was captured on Officer Chris Heidfeld's body camera, which we will review.
Chris,
Hi, Chris.
you know why I'm here, okay? Right? For this crash?
I guess.
Okay. I gotta read you something. I can find it. Okay. Since it is a criminal investigation, isn't it? And I gotta read you something. You have the right to remain silent, and you say it can be used against you in court.
Are you
have the
gonna
right.
arrest me?
I'm just conducting my investigation, so I gotta read this if I'm gonna ask you questions.
Okay, because I thought you. Okay.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. Have him or her present during questions if you wish. You cannot afford a lawyer. One will be appointed for you before any questions if you wish. Decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present. You'll still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time to speak to a lawyer. Do you understand all these rights I explained to you?
Sure do.
All right, with these rights in mind, you want to answer some questions about the crash?
Sure.
Okay. What happened?
I was driving, and there was somebody else driving really fast, really fast. And they were swerving in and out, and I don't instead of moving aside like I should have, I just stayed in my lane, and then they went to swish over to another lane and somehow hit the back of me. And there was another car coming, and they didn't realize it was there, and I had nothing to do with it. I was just driving to work.
Well, you do have something to do with when you got hit.
But I had nothing to do with the accident.
You're involved in an accident. You have damage to your car, and you were involved in an accident. Where did this happen at?
You guys know where it happened. It happened on, I told him, on Canner Highway.
Okay. Just before you came to work?
Yeah, on my way to work.
Why didn't you stop?
Why didn't I?
You felt the crash, right?
I felt that I got tapped, yep.
Why didn't you stop?
Because it wasn't an accident. In my honest opinion, I didn't think it was an accident.
You see the damage to your car?
It's not that bad. It's a little thing on the corner.
And your headlight?
Yeah.
And your taillight?
Yeah.
Alright. Do you know under state law you have to stop
I did not
at
know
a crash?
that, sir. I
It
did
is-
not know that.
And you know it's a criminal offense.
And I did not consider that to be a crash.
Oh, it's a crash.
Okay,
You
but
felt it.
I did not know that, which is why I didn't stop. It wasn't like I had anything to do with it.
So your main reason is you were late to work?
No, I'm never late to work. I was on time.
Oh, you had come to work, that's why you didn't stop, and you didn't think you were involved in a crash?
Now, the first thing worth pointing out is that Officer Heidfeld initially read Miss Wendell her Miranda rights. Note that Miranda rights are only required when the police are questioning you in the context of a criminal investigation and hope to or desire to use your statements as evidence against you. Otherwise, Miranda doesn't apply and they're not required to be read. So, by the looks of it, Miss Wendell was now under criminal investigation because Officer Heidfeld claimed that she fled the scene of an accident. But right off the bat, Miss Wendell was quick to explain her side of the story, claiming that she didn't quite take the incident as a proper crash or accident, and that's why she didn't stop at the scene. Clearly, Officer Heidfeld had other opinions. He claimed that she must have stopped regardless of how severe the accident was. Let's look at the law to clarify this. In Florida, when involved in an accident, drivers are legally obligated to adhere to specific duties to ensure proper handling of the incident. The driver must immediately stop the vehicle at the scene of the accident or as close as possible without obstructing traffic. In cases where the accident causes property damage, injury, or death, the driver must inform the nearest law enforcement agency. So, judging by this, it's clear that Miss Wendell indeed should have stopped at the scene, but she stated that she was unaware of this.
Do you understand I can take you to jail right now for hit and run? Do you understand that?
That would be really weird.
But do you understand that?
I guess if you're telling me that, sure.
Okay, because you did not stop. She spun out. Obviously, it's her fault. We know that. But by law, you have to stop and render aid
I understand that.
and all that.
I did not know that. Now I know.
Well, most people involved in a crash usually stop.
I didn't consider it being involved, honey. I'm sorry.
Don't call me honey, please.
Well,
All right.
don't call me, then don't talk to me. How's that?
All right, turn around.
No.
Put your hand behind your back. I'm not playing games. Put your
I
hand
am
behind-
not playing games with you.
You're gonna get tased. Stop resisting.
Off of me. What the hell?
You're gonna get
No.
tased. You're under arrest. You're under arrest.
Why?
Stop.
I mean,
Take her down. Now you got battery on a Leo.
You're gonna get tased. Turn around before you get tased. Man, turn around. Come on. You're gonna get tased. Turn around. You're under arrest. You're resisting. Turn around. Get on the ground. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Upstairs, showing her lost ball.
Turn around. Turn around.
somebody hit me this morning and I didn't know it was an accident. And then I called him honey. And he got mad at me for calling him honey and then he did that to me. Oh my God. My stepmother's coming right now. My stepmother's coming right now for appointment. She's coming right now. Please, sir. My stepmother's coming right now.
Cameras are over there. You're off it.
When she kicked at you.
Stop. Listen. Listen.
Honey.
I gotta get these out of your back. Stop.
That's fine, she's under arrest.
Because I called him honey. That's why.
No, because you resisted.
And then you tried to run the stairs.
Resist!
And then you tried to kick us.
Because you were hurting me.
No. Pull out.
As seen in the footage, Officer Heidfeld initially sounded rather angered or frustrated while discussing the ordeal with Miss Wendell, and this quickly became even more obvious when Miss Wendell referred to him as honey. And let's not forget that Officer Heidfeld's duty was to handle the situation in a calm and cordial manner. Escalating the ordeal by bluntly telling her she could be taken to jail did the complete opposite. So, after being obviously upset with Miss Wendell's tone, Officer Heidfeld decided to place her under arrest and promptly restrained her arms to try and put her in handcuffs. This was when Miss Wendell, rightfully startled, engaged in a scuffle that led to Officer Heidfeld throwing her to the ground and tasing her multiple times. To put things in perspective, bear in mind that under Florida statutes, section 316.061 to 316.063, leaving the scene of an accident is defined as the driver's failure to remain at the scene of an automobile crash, when that crash involved property damage, bodily injury, or death. This is often referred to as hit and run, so even though Miss Wendell had undoubtedly committed a crime by continuing to drive, Officer Heidfeld was certainly not justified in escalating the situation to such a degree. He could have quite easily sorted the matter out without confrontation.
Roll over.
I got it.
Got it?
Go down the
stairs.
I think she
Yeah.
Listen. So now you're going for resisting without violence and resisting with violence for kicking us.
Well, you were throwing me out. You get to be violent with me?
Listen, when I tell you you're under arrest, then you pull away from us and want to go out a door and
Yeah.
then that's resisting.
Well, because there was no reason.
Yes,
Don't
there
say
is.
anything.
Just be quiet. Don't say anything.
Come on.
Don't say anything at all. Okay? Just be quiet.
Is that one mine?
This
God,
one's
you're
yours.
so mean. You call it protecting and serving? You're so mean. Look at me. I'm just a girl. I don't. Why would you treat me like that?
Why would you try and kick us?
But now I'm playing your mom.
You okay?
arrest you. You want to fight us and pull away from us.
You only arrested me because you didn't like me saying, honey. Yes, you did.
No, that's not a fence. State
Exactly
offense.
what it is.
No, it's not.
That's what you did.
No.
That's exactly what you did.
All right.
You didn't like that I...
Yeah, my camera.
I do. I'm just going to get some video of the car. This way it's all in one spot.
Following this, Miss Wendell was transported down to the department where she was charged with resisting arrest. The charge was later dropped and she went on to sue the Stewart Police Department for excessive force. According to the lawsuit, the officers, unprovoked and undaunted, violently slammed Miss Wendell into a corner and forced her down to the floor, tasing her and cuffing her in the process. Eventually, the Stewart Police Department told CBS 12, a local news station, that the city settled the lawsuit for $20,000 to avoid dragging it out into court and wasting taxpayers' money. Police said, however, that they did nothing wrong and were strictly following policy. Next up, we have an incident from April 6, 2019, when a few officers with the Ithaca Police Department witnessed a man, 26-year-old Caji Ferguson, engaged in a physical altercation with another individual. In response to this, the officers promptly rushed into the scene and intervened in the fight. However, the situation quickly escalated, as you will see in the footage.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Give me over here! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Everybody needs to step back.
As we've just seen, within a matter of seconds, all the police officers ran up to Mr. Ferguson and aggressively pulled him away, causing one of the officers to trip and fall in the process. Right after that officer hit the ground, it appeared that he was rather unhappy, and before anyone knew it, he deployed his taser at Mr. Ferguson without warning, which caused him to go down to the ground. A federal judge commented on this and described it very well. An unarmed Ferguson was grabbed and tased without being given an opportunity to comply. This is a pretty accurate description of what had happened because the officers seemingly decided beforehand that Mr. Ferguson was the problem, so they had to take him down. Also, in case you missed it, one of Mr. Ferguson's friends, namely Miss Rose DeGroat, was seen trying to push an officer off of Mr. Ferguson. And this, as expected, led to the officers throwing her to the ground and violently pinning her down while placing her in handcuffs.
guys don't even know what happened.
No, only thing I saw is you take your jacket off and attack someone.
Okay, but you don't know what happened. I got you. No, I got you.
He tried to assault my friend.
You're okay.
He tried to assault my
Bring your
friend.
hand up, ready?
Wait, you know my last name?
No, just open it up.
Are you hurt? Are you alright? No, three of them fucking. I know they're not alright.
Guys, step back. Step back.
Bitch ass nigga, she didn't do nothing. Y'all both.
First on Street. You got her? I got that manual unlock it.
Are you good?
Greg!
That's just not okay.
For real, y'all niggas taking her to jail. She y'all bitchy niggas. Y'all all
I watched a white man throw a punch, but I don't see him in cuffs. What the f*** I have on me?
Mr. Ferguson, while lying on the ground, was heard telling the officers that they had no idea what was going on during the altercation, but they still targeted and assaulted him. This was a justified argument because police officers have the duty to conduct a thorough investigation before taking any action. When responding to an altercation or any incident, police officers are expected to follow a set of protocols and guidelines to ensure a fair and objective investigation. These protocols are in place to protect the rights of all individuals involved and to gather accurate information about the situation. Anyway, this is also an appropriate time to discuss whether the officers use an excessive amount of force or not. Note that two Supreme Court cases, Tennessee v. Garner and Graham v. Connor, established the constitutional standards for police uses of force. Graham established a standard of objective reasonableness that restricts an officer's authority to compel or constrain an individual. Garner sets forth the standard governing use of deadly force, namely that officers may use deadly force when there is probable cause to believe that the suspect poses a threat of serious physical harm. Also, bear in mind that New York state laws authorizes officers to use physical force only when they reasonably believe such to be necessary to effect arrest, prevent escape, or defend a person or property from harm. Now, this is very important because it tells us that the officers were certainly not justified in their use of force against Mr. Ferguson. He was not under arrest, he was not trying to escape, and he was not actively fighting at the time of contact. In simple words, an excessive amount of force was used against him.
Get in the car.
What the f*** are you doing?
Hey.
No, what the f***? No, seriously. Seriously. I mean, what? No. You're gonna get what? I did not kick
Step
you.
back, man. I know.
What are you doing to my...
Just step back. Stay over here.
Come on, y'all arrested. Bro, out the street. Y'all arrested. Bro, what? Y'all use your hands
You
up.
too. Get back up there. No, get back up there more.
All right, I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah, get back there. That's what I'm telling you to do.
I'll stand. I'm just saying I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm trying. I have enough problems. Yo, you just got let go.
Across the street.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yo, don't beat your hands up. Go ahead.
Right, y'all know what's right. I know y'all know what's right.
He's under arrest.
Yes.
Okay, who else?
There's a guy too. He might be with hers.
The girl got arrested?
Yes, correct. Yes.
under arrest.
Yeah.
This girl is detained.
I'm not sure about him. Oh, that guy in the red shirt down there, he's under arrest too.
Listen, I promise you, I will give you my ear and I will explain everything.
Okay.
Clearly, you want to hear all about it. And I have no problem.
Like
but
I'm like a neutral party, I swear to God. But that one man slammed her on the painter, and she wasn't doing anything but defending her friend.
Okay.
She was just trying to talk.
Okay, we'll get it all figured out.
I'm gonna go ask Greg.
Okay.
Y'all know what's
Alright,
right.
yeah.
By now, we learned that Mr. Ferguson had punched the man involved because he had allegedly tried to assault his friend. Now, though it may not be a good way to approach such a situation, the officer still had the duty to learn this before running up on Mr. Ferguson and tasing him. Speaking of which, official guidelines state that a verbal warning of the intended use of the taser should precede its application. The officers who deployed the taser gave absolutely no warnings. Also, the application of the taser is likely to cause intense but momentary pain. As such, officers should carefully consider and balance the totality of circumstances available prior to using the taser. Again, the officer clearly didn't judge the situation level-headedly and deployed his taser just because he thought he could. Anyway, a press release following the incident stated that Ferguson and DeGroat would be charged with felonies and Ferguson and a third person would be charged with misdemeanors for their involvement amid the use of a taser. Soon enough, District Attorney Matthew Von Houten reduced the charges for Ferguson and DeGroat to misdemeanors from felonies. Sometime later in 2022, both Ms. DeGroat and Mr. Ferguson filed excessive force lawsuits against all the officers at the scene. The lawsuits state the force that was used against Ferguson and DeGroat was a constitutional violation and states the arrests were unlawful. The officers are being sued for monetary damages amounting to at least $500,000. The lawsuits are still active as of the date of this recording. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter.